welcome to Winfield's week of Rugby League, a week that yet again kicked off on the right note with the Saturday match of the day between Cronulla and Penrith, another high-scoring game and plenty of tries. We'll have all the highlights of that game for you. Also, the action of the State Bank big game last Sunday between Canterbury, Bankstown and Parramatta, all the other highlights of the other Sunday games, as well as the action from last Monday night at the Sydney Cricket Ground under the lights between Souths and Wests. But Cronulla got us underway last Saturday at Endeavour Field, a great display by the Sharks, reinforcing their position in the top three on the table, up against Penrith, who really were backpedalling from the start following the announcement during the week that Tim Sheens was leaving the club.
There's been a lot of conjecture whether Sheens was going to stay or whether he's going to go, and now we hear that most of their star players are on their way to another club.
And certainly the players that, of course, the Mark Robinsons are the players they just can't afford to lose, because they're the juniors that have come through the club and have given them some sort of hope for the future after their marvellous performance in the National Panasonic Cup this year. Penrith with the ball. They're defending the southern end of the ground in the first half. That's Roy Simmons, who's gathered in and put into the ground just outside the quarter line. Down Penrith's end of the field. The kick is put in then by Greg Clements. And Watson made a bit of a meal of that, but diving on it in the end is Docking. And this little fullback has the ball for Cronulla. Watson from dummy half. So there we are, the points scored so far this year. Cronulla, with that exciting back line, have scored 276 points, and Penrith, without Alexander for so many matches this year, haven't yet reached the double century. That penalty going to Cronulla, and Watson is going to kick for touch over on that eastern side of the ground.
Be interesting, David, what tactics Cronulla play today. Last week against Balmain, because Sorensen wasn't on this paddock, they played a lot more out wide. I only hope that they don't revert back to playing it and switching it back inside too often.
Docking, Miller, away it comes to Diamond. Interesting to see that change too from Gibson this week, with Diamond going from second row to prop and Staines going from prop back to second row as Miller's pass comes away to Magor. Magor standing in the tackle, he just couldn't get it away to Eddinghausen then. Just inside Penrith territory.
It's obvious, David, that Gibson felt that Staines' running game was far more important. And why bog him down with being close to the rucks?
Diamond, Docking, Quinn, Sorensen, down the centre he goes. He's rock hard, and what a great duel that's going to be this afternoon between Jeff Gerard and Dane Sorensen, two of the elder statesmen of the Winfield Cup competition. Speechley's kick, getting underneath it, little Robbie Robards. He took that well, that ball seemed to be swirling around in that breeze. It seems to be a bit of a cross breeze. It started off as a southerly, and now I think it's even coming a little bit as from the southwest. It's a wind that certainly seems to be changing, and seems to be more evident at the southern end of the field than at the northern end, and Robards looked to be in a bit of trouble when that ball was swirling around.
Certainly is, David. It's going to cause a few problems out there, and also the fact that I think Cronulla in this half, they'll kick towards their left wing. There's a wind there, very, very strong.
So Clements again putting the kick in. He got pushed over for his troubles after the kick, but nothing that would bring any harm to him. And Docking's got it just inside Penrith territory. Coleman from Quinn, it comes away to Speechley. Now getting that ball out wide was Eddinghausen to Watson. Watson's gone without it. Robinson's picked it up for Penrith. Robinson will score. Robinson's over the quarter line. Robinson for the line. He's out of that last desperate tackle and he scored. Mark Robinson scored for Penrith, and the Panthers are leading 4-0.
Well, this is a dream start, David. And once again, it's a mistake. So often happens early in the game. Well, there's the long ball out wide there. He should have taken that. Wasn't hard. Seen Watson at all the time in the world, but he picked it up very well. Robinson, the man who's already announced is going towards Parramatta next season. Now let's watch it from a different angle. Head on. The ball went out wide. It was a good pass here by Eddinghausen, but Watson made a real mess of it. Now look at Robinson, the strength here. He came at him, did ET, but he just didn't have the speed. We saw last week that he had the speed against Balmain, but this kid's very, very quick and strong.
So Greg Clements, the goal kicker this afternoon for Penrith. But how quickly Andrew Eddinghausen picked Robinson up then. Gee, that was amazing. Here comes Clements, just inside the quarter line. He's got plenty of height, he's got plenty of direction. What a great kick. 2 more points to the Panthers, and Penrith are leading by 6 points to 0. Quinn's pass away now comes to Diamond, and Diamond's gone straight through. Craig Diamond, the pass comes back to Speechley, and Speechley's almost up to the halfway line. Caught from behind as Diamond gets it away again from Quinn. It comes to Miller. Miller's pass to Staines. Staines has got his arms free. The pass misses Eddinghausen, but Sorensen's cleaned it up. And even when they throw a loose pass, these Cronulla players, they still seem to have the confidence and the backing up to clean it up. Staines just inside Penrith territory. Last tackle against Cronulla. Sorensen, Miller. Miller will get the kick in. And there it is. It's a high up and under. Anybody's ball. Getting high or going highest and climbing all over the top of them was Lydiard. And in the end, Robards gets it. I don't know what Lydiard was trying to do.
Well, a bit pointless there, David. One of the Penrith players had already called for the ball. Lydiard came flying over. And really, the only thing he was going to achieve there was to hurt one of his own players.
Well, he certainly stopped anyone having an opportunity to take the ball on the full. Penrith had the ball on the halfway line. Simmons going straight through. Simmons has passed it away, it's gone loose, and McGaw's picked it up for Cronulla. Well, they've been sucked in by the Simmons dummy a few times, these Cronulla defenders. But then after making doing all the good work, he undid it with the pass.
Good play by the skipper there. As you say, David, he's making a lot of ground from dummy half. He hasn't been doing a lot of running, but he's certainly making up for it today.
Docking, Hatch on his own, back on the inside, that's Ronnie Quinn. Quinn in the open spaces, Eddinghausen still going, good run from Eddinghausen. He's only 11 metres out though from the Penrith line, docking a dummy half, it's with Quinn, comes across to Miller, the pass comes to Speechley, back it goes to Alan Wilson for the line, Wilson's very close, he's going to play it only a metre or so out. Quinn's in a dummy half. Quinn's on his own, puts the grubber kick in, getting back there and flicking it across the dead ball line was Brad Izzard. And Speechley was really lurking there.
Well, he was certainly lurking, Davey, but I think Speechley realised that he was well offside here. And there Speechley not making any real attempt to get to it. He should have played towards a whistle.
So now we're going to have the restart. Penrith. There's the restart. Getting underneath it, Alan Wilson, the lock forward takes it and runs it back towards the Penrith quarter line. Just outside the Penrith quarter line, 12 metres in from touch, McGaw. Away it comes now to Docking. Now that's Diamond. Diamond's tackled. Just outside Penrith quarter line, almost in centre field. Docking at dummy half. Docking on his own. Docking going straight down the centre of the ruck and pinches another 8 metres. Diamond again a dummy half. It comes away to Quinn. Back it down the centre comes Miller. Miller on his own. Good dummy. It goes to Sorensen. Back it goes to Quinn. The pass finishes up with Staines. Staines going for the line. He's only 7 metres out. Eddinghausen a dummy half. Again it's with Quinn. The pass comes to Docking. Docking can't get his pass away though. Last tackle against the Sharks. Now it's with Hatch. The pass comes away to Watson. Watson trying to force his way over. It's anybody's ball. Wilson will score. Try to Cronulla.
Well, Lady Luck was on their side there, but full credit to them. They kept the ball alive and got away with it. And that last pass, well, Wilson, just watch this. Now we see the wingman, Watson, get the ball away and beautifully flicked away by McGaw. And the lock forward in for a good try. Now just watch this flick pass. You'll see the ball go over, McGaw's out of it. Over it goes to top. Now watch Hatch. He didn't have to take it. Passed it onto the lock forward, and that was a good try.
And Sean Watson, who kept that movement alive with the desperate pass, the attempt to convert the try, looks pretty good. Super kick. It's 6-all. Cronulla 6, Penrith 6. We've had about 23 minutes of play. Well, they had 2 super kicks today with a new ball, a little bit breezy, and yet Clements and Watson have both had difficult conversion attempts and they've slotted them both over. Van der Voort, away it comes to Goodwin. Now Goodwin, again a little bit unsure of what to do. Not sure whether to run, to prop, to pass.
Well, they look at 6s and 7s, David.
Now there goes Simmons again with the dummy and down the centre.
Simmons is making the breaks, but after that, there really is no one out there taking control.
Now Clements with the ball. That long, wide floating pass, beautifully half volleyed by Robinson. Robinson for the corner, he's away there from Watson, but his pass has been intercepted by McGaw, and McGaw just couldn't prevent himself carrying the ball in the end across the touchline, and so the scrum will go down. But this is again, what's this? Robinson versus Watson. Gee, these two fellows, the two young, strong wingers of the competition. Look at this.
Yeah, it's a beautiful pass inside. Whether he did that intentionally or not, but it certainly proved worthwhile because Penrith have got possession from the scrum.
So Penrith have got the ball, only about 14 metres out though from the Cronulla line. Izzard, we've hardly seen him with the ball. He hasn't had much of a chance to show his attacking wares as it comes out the other side now from Vatanza, away in the end out wide towards Robards. And Robards' tackle, 18 metres out. Simmons is in a dummy half. Simmons decides to duck up that blind side. Hatch collects him, bundles him into the turf. Only 11 metres out though from the Cronulla line. Robards, Vatanza. Vatanza's not going to go much further than about 9 metres out. Last tackle against the Panthers. Now Clements puts the little kick in. Clements, can he get there first? It's loose. I think Docking might have forced it though. The referee says yes he did. And so a line dropout will follow, but that was very touch and go.
Certainly was. Good play by Clements here. They used a little bit of a shepherd, used a little bit of a soccer style, aimed towards the referee and nearly got away with it.
I suppose if you were a bookmaker or a ratings man, as so many of these people are these days in the racing world, you'd have to say Cronulla were very good things to win here this afternoon. They've won 5 out of their 8 home matches in 1987, and Penrith have only won 2 out of 8 away matches. So the odds certainly favouring the Cronulla Sutherland side, and certainly that man is hoping that they pick up the 2 Winfield Cup points. That's Jack Gibson, the Cronulla Sutherland coach.
Well, he'll be quite pleased, David. Both sides locked together at 6-all. That's good thinking by the Penrith skipper. At least they'll get the feed, not the head.
Well, that was interesting too, because Docking was up there in defence, and Quinn was playing an a la Peter Sterling role back at fullback, and Quinn didn't even get up there in time for the scrum. The ball was actually in and out of the scrum before Ronnie Quinn arrived.
On both sides, David, a little bit of indecision.
Good tackle there by Dan Staines. Now, Simmons has lost the ball and Sorensen's got it for the Sharks. Cronulla with another attacking opportunity. Diamond pirouette, spins and gets to within about 19 metres of that Penrith line. Wilson in a dummy half. Hatch wants it. No, Wilson decides to go on his own. Wilson's gone straight through. He's looking for his second. He's got it to Coleman, and Coleman's going to play the ball only a couple of metres out. That was bad defence again by Penrith. Now Staines from dummy half. Away it comes from Quinn. Now that's Miller. Now it goes to Speechley. On it goes to McGaw. McGaw will score. Oh, good try. Feeble defence, but Mark McGaw's strength was enough for the Sharks to go ahead 10-6.
Well, that was odds on, David. They had the numbers out wide, and Penrith can only blame themselves. You see on the replay how many players were cluttered in and around that play the ball. It's 5 there. Look at it out wide. 3, and there's 4 Cronulla players, and a good step by McGaw. This big stride in centre, far too much strength. Get him over for a vital try. But look at all the Penrith players there. Obviously they were being called out wide. Robards had injected himself into it. Izzard, well, we haven't seen much of him in this game. I suspect he's gone into the game with an injury. And a good try.
It was a sparkling try, and no doubt he'll probably get the opportunity to do the same again for the Blues against the Maroons at Lang Park on July the 15th.
Well, let's
Watson.
hope so.
Well, I don't think we'll see too many changes. Watson, there's the kick. He's converted it. And so 2 more points to Cronulla. And now Cronulla are leading Penrith by 12 points to 6. I noticed Michael Gregory down on the touchline there too, Ian. Maybe there's a Cronulla player about to be replaced or put in the head bin. I noticed Dr. Malouf also walking up and down the touchline.
Well, it could well be Docking, David, with the fact that the halfback Ron Quinn did drop back a few moments into the fullback position.
Well, Gregory's gone back to the bench, so obviously the doctor's fairly happy that there's nothing untoward wrong with any of the Cronulla players. And there's Mark McGaw, the man who scored the try. He's got that pass away, albeit not a good one, but Hatch has managed to pinch another few metres with it. certainly playing with confidence though, Cronulla, especially when you can throw passes like that. Staines' pass comes out wide, almost intercepted by Penrith in the end. Izzard can't pick it up. See, I thought that there was a knock-on from Penrith originally anyway, but it looked as if the referee was going to let Izzard go if he'd got that.
Certainly was. We couldn't allow the advantage.
Here comes Gregory coming onto the field now, Michael Gregory. So who's coming off? Alan Wilson. So Wilson's going off on the far side of the field. I'm wondering whether he received a knock, Ian, perhaps he received a knock in that run when he went oh so close to scoring just a few moments ago.
He certainly did, David. Didn't move after the kick from Watson was taken. He was still receiving treatment, and he's got a bloodied mouth.
Oh well, Michael Gregory, the Englishman, is on the field for Alan Wilson. Wilson no doubt going off into the head bin, but we'll clarify that one shortly, even though Wilson is probably having it clarified at the moment. As the long pass comes out wide to Robards. He did pretty well to get that. In the end, probably wished he hadn't. Now, the little chip over the top from Clements, but Speechley read it perfectly and is back there. And he's got a pass away to Quinn. Quinn sends it out now to Eddinghausen, away to Watson. Watson up over the halfway line. Izzard comes at him and good cover defence brings him down. A few metres inside Penrith's territory. And if Izzard had missed that, it would have been another 4-pointer. They see it so quickly. They're so quick to counter-attack, the Sharks. They've got so much speed and confidence. Miller still going. Ball's played. Now that's Hatch. McGaw, Eddinghausen still going.
They're very strong on the second phase of attack, David, this Cronulla Sharks side.
Blindside at Staines, and Staines puts the ball back into the centre of the field in front of the goalpost. Robards is getting back there. It's into the in-goal area. It's the half-time siren sounding in the back players. Robards is going to be held up 12 metres out from the Penrith line, and so at half-time as the players go in at Lemons, it's Cronulla Sutherland leading Penrith by 12 points to 6.
Alan Wilson, who left the field just before half-time, said he was okay. He's got a broken nose and some stitches in his mouth, but he's just come to the sideline and told the trainer that he's still got blurred. He's still blurred vision, and he just walked off the field again. And there's a replacement going out right now, Michael Gregory, so there's some drama here.
So that's incredible. Alan Wilson, Michael Gregory back on the field now for Alan Wilson. Now there's Sean Watson's kick up over the halfway, down towards that quarter line. And Robards has it.
Well, they're the tactics that Cronulla will use this second half, David. They'll utilise the wind a lot more than what Penrith did in the first half.
And there we are, the half-time score, Cronulla leading Penrith 12 points to 6. We're into the second half of this match at the Endeavour field. And in the first half, it was Paul Ackery who was leading the way as far as defence was concerned for Penrith. He managed to rack up 17 tackles. And who else but Michael Speechley was the top tackler in the Cronulla lineup. Seems to be every week. Well, Izzard got that kick in. He almost slipped over as he put that kick in. He almost got himself so badly off balance that his boot didn't make contact with the ball.
It's certainly an unusual kick, but it was left with no other option, David. He was the only one in that quarter of the field.
So Cronulla, who were just out of the 5 before today's game, should they win, will go to equal third position momentarily, depending on the result of matches tomorrow. But Penrith, of course, are going to have other ideas in the next 40 minutes. As Speechley again, he is going to be the puppeteer for most of the second half, I feel. Him and Gavin Miller, outstanding kicking games.
Well, notice how much space he gives himself there. We saw a Penrith player not even attempting to try to charge him down.
Just been confirmed, David, that Wilson has been replaced altogether by Gregory, and that's a bit of blow for them. I thought he was their best player in the first half.
Certainly had a big first half, and look at Eddinghausen. Eddinghausen in space. He's over the quarter line. The pass comes back, and Coleman's gathered it in, but he's been chopped down. He's only a metre out. What lovely football, docking from dummy half. In a dummy half is McGaw. McGaw made a fumble, but it was knocked backwards. Quinn, away it goes to Watson. Watson will score. Jack Gibson would be breathing much easier now. And Sean Watson has scored the try, which has put the Sharks in front 16-6.
Well, this was also easy, David. Once again, we see the Penrith players in and around that play the ball area. And Izzard, the culprit again, moving up quickly. Now look at all these Penrith players here. All it takes was that long ball out wide. Izzard comes round the back instead of moving through, leaves the gap through. Watson says, don't argue, I'm in.
Watson moving in to try and convert his own try, and he's got it, and so the Sharks are in front by 18 points to 6. We've only had about 5 minutes play of the second half.
Sutherland kick by number 5, seeing Watson.
Michael Gregory with it. Now docking, Speechley, and he's going to kick again for the western touchline, and that looks to be a fabulous kick, and it is. What a great kick. He's found touch only about 11 or 12 metres out from the Penrith line.
Now watch Speechley here. Now you'll notice that Penrith don't even attempt to get anywhere near him. I know he gave himself a lot of room, but they're not putting him under any pressure. But a magnificent kick nonetheless.
He's putting it on the sixpence every time. Dive for the ball. Delaney won it. The referee, though, said, I want it in again. In it goes. Delaney's got it. Oh, they've lost the ball, and Speechley's got the ball on the ground for Cronulla, so they've got another chance here, the Sharks. Miller, now it goes to Quinn, away to Docking, and Docking, he's still going Docking. Well, they've got to put him on the ground. Eddinghausen almost got into the clear there. Only about 20-odd metres away as the ball's played. It comes from Miller. The run round with Quinn. Miller does the little pirouette. The ball's come away. It's gone to Staines. Staines decides to go on his own. He's still going, Dan Staines. Staines, good strong run. He's got within a couple of metres of the line. Docking a dummy half. The pass comes away to McGaw. McGaw dives. McGaw scores. Try to the Sharks.
So easy, David. A sad day for the Penrith Panthers. That was oh so easy. They're just keeping this ball alive. They're not being put down. Nearly every time they get the opportunity, Cronulla are making inroads. They're finding it very difficult to stop them from keeping the ball alive. This was the build-up work to it. Just a very simple pass. No defence came up. They waited for him and suffered the consequences. Now here you see it. From the play of the ball, whipped across here, no one moving forward. Penrith are waiting for him. There you see him come to Daddy, and Daddy scores 4 points. Poor defence.
As Watson moves in, there's the kick. It's successful. He's now got 4 from 4 and a try as well. So Sean Watson has scored 12 points so far this afternoon, and the Sharks have now got away to lead by 24 points to 6 after, 11 minutes of the second half. I think we are going to see the Sharks declare in this. Tim Sheen's there speaking with Craig Izzard. Looks like Chris Houghton as well.
Yeah, changes coming up here, David. As you said, Chris Houghton, the former centre, playing as a prop in reserve grade for the Panthers, and also Brad Izzard's brother Craig, the army man, coming onto the field. And at the moment, we haven't quite got the changes, but don't be surprised if Joe Vitanza is one of the players off, and also Colin Vandervoort. But we'll check with those in a minute.
So now the work move by Cronulla.
That was like the charge of the Light Brigade.
Down on the Penrith quarter line, we've had 40 handling errors in this game, and that could only be attributed to the new balls. Now look at this, McGaw! McGaw's feet! McGaw looking for a hat-trick! McGaw's in! McGaw, a hat-trick of tries here as the Sharks are starting to run away with this game. It's Cronulla 28, Penrith 6, and look at that! Gene Miles would have been especially proud of that one, didn't he? Look at this.
Beautiful try to the Sharks, keeping the ball out wide. Notice how deep they are. Lovely long ball from the hooker, then on to Speechley. And the strength. He just said to Clements, out of my way. Oh, beautiful try. And that's got a state jumper written all over it. Now look how they keep the ball alive here. This is what it's all about, the strength there at the end. Look how he runs, unorthodox running with the ball. Not the best way. He knew he had to dive to take it.
Watson from the touchline, his most difficult kick of the afternoon. Flat and low and 2 points. 5 from 5 for Sean Watson. It's been a very mechanical performance. It's been a great kicking performance from Sean Watson and a great try-scoring performance from Mark McGaw, and Cronulla are leading by 30 points to 6.
Come on, Penrith, you play in 2 halves, 4 quarters, not just 1 quarter.
Now Lydiard with it, good ball and all tackle, but good football from Lydiard. That got it away to Bentley. Bentley over the halfway. Robards in support. Robards with the ball, looking for support, trying to link up over the other side of the field with Lydiard. It's Bentley in a dummy half. Last tackle against the Panthers as Simmons goes on his own. Simmons puts the ball onto his boot into the in-goal area. It'll bounce. Back there is Eddinghausen. Eddinghausen, all the ease in the world, picked up that ball on the ground. And look at this. Class. Now that was sheer, unadulterated class, the way he picked that up. A lot of other footballers would have really just gone to that ball and stopped to pick it up. He just picked it up on the run. Gee, what a carefree pickup. All the confidence in the world.
Was it ever, David? And a lot of the crowd here, and no doubt the television viewers out there, thought that it actually was going to stop. That's so much ease, so much class.
Not many footballers could do with. I know it looked pretty easy at home, but believe me, it isn't. To be able to pick that ball up on the run like that, but have the confidence to do it, it's something else.
He had them all mesmerised, David. Let's see it again. You'll see him coming into the picture. There he goes, onto the full. Now look at the ease. He misses one. It looks as though he's going to stop here. Which way should I go? Oh, nothing that way. That's sheer class.
So David Hatch coming off the field for the Sharks. They might go down to the sideline. Who's come on who?
Scott Freestone, David's on the field, and Hatch is the captain, as you know, and receiving a standing ovation here. One of the most popular players down at Endeavour Field.
From dummy half, it's Miller. Now it comes away to Scott Freestone. Freestone held up though, only a couple of metres out from the Penrith line. Docking again at dummy half. It's got away now to Speechley. The pass comes away now to Staines, and Staines is held up. He's going to be tackled, only a couple of metres out. Fourth tackle against the Sharks. Quinn at dummy half. Quinn, the pass comes away towards Miller. On it goes to Gregory. Gregory can't get his pass away. Yes, he can. It's loose. It's picked up by Docking, and Docking has scored. No, referee says knock on.
Once again, a ball going loose there, but Cronulla ever so sharp. They keep this ball alive. It was a gamble. Gregory slipped it out. The referee played play on.
And off comes Gavin Miller.
He's had a strong game, David. Control the forwards, and more importantly, he's kept the forwards out of the back line.
And there we are, the Western Australian boys, quite distinctive there in their black jumpers, and of course you'll see the emblem there, the little gold emblem with the big black swan. So there we are, the Western Australian under-15 schoolboys side.
Come on, Cronulla. Come on, Cronulla.
And good luck to them too. ABC Radio tomorrow in New South Wales and some areas of Queensland and the Northern Territory and Radio Australia. We'll be able to hear the coverage of the Balmain Eastern Suburbs game from the Sydney Cricket Ground. Next Saturday afternoon, ABC television viewers will be seeing the Tigers yet again when the Tigers take on the Raiders. Balmain and Canberra will be opposed at the Leichhardt Oval next Saturday afternoon. And that should be a great game as well. Now Izzard, Craig that is, with the ball. About 9 metres Cronulla's side of halfway as Houghton takes it up.
Well, both sides, David, just going through the motion here. Penrith realise they've got a long road, not only to drive back, but to get themselves any confidence to look towards 1988. They really have looked at his spirited side this afternoon.
So Delaney, the pass comes out wide towards Robards, and Robards is held up. Only about 20 metres out though. Lydiard, Clements. Clements has passed away. It comes to Houghton. The pass comes back to Simmons. Simmons on his own. Be fitting if Roy scored a try. He's played his heart out there today. Lydiard a dummy half. It's again with Clements. The long cut-out pass almost intercepted by Magor. Izzard away it goes to Bentley, and Bentley's in. Well, they've scored a late try here, Penrith. Magor took the odds on the intercept. It didn't come off. Brad Izzard said thank you, and Cole Bentley has scored the try.
Well, it was a case, David, of the first time that Penrith have utilised the link with 3/4 in the line, not forwards. They got the lucky bounce, went for the interception, and Bentley in for a consolation try. Now there's the kids. They think the game's over. The announcers telling them to get off.
Come on, you coppers.
Now watch the ball out wide. Now they go for the intercept here. It goes against McGaw. And for once the three-quarter line is in position. And good credit to Bentley in for the try.
So the kick's wide, and so the score, Cronulla 30, Penrith 10. There's still about 60 seconds. No, there isn't. The clock's actually wound down. There was a player down injured, but the referee hadn't called time off, so that it is full time now. And the final score sees Cronulla get the 2 Winfield Cup competition points. They've defeated Penrith by 30 points to 10. And because of that win, it means they go to 22 points on the Winfield Cup competition table. And they're now equal with Balmain, Canberra and Souths. And of course all of those sides have matches in hand tomorrow. And Canterbury, who are also on 20, have a chance to advance to 22 tomorrow. They play Parramatta at the Belmore Sports Ground. So there we are, the final score. Cronulla defeating Penrith by 30 points to 10. For Cronulla, Mark McGaw, a hat-trick, 3 tries. And the other try scorers, Alan Wilson and Sean Watson. And Watson, 5 goals from 5 attempts, so he gained 16 points and McGaw 12, while for Penrith, Robinson and Bentley scored the tries and Greg Clements kicked the goal.
Every week they're at it, never daring to let up. 'Cause winning's the only thing that counts when you're playing for the Winfield Cup. It doesn't matter if you're famous or a youngster making his way. There's only one thing that matters, and that's how well you play. That's what the big game's all about. Giving it the best you can. Always being a leader, never bowing to any man. Giving it all you know, giving it your best shot. Making every step a winner, proving what it takes you got. Every week they're at it, giving it their all. But who will it be this year to collect the greatest prize of all?
Surely the most important match of the round was the State Bank big game at Belmore Sports Ground between Parramatta and Canterbury. Nothing more to be said other than it was the last throw of the dice in 1987 for the Parramatta Eels.
The State Bank Big Game presents the Winfield Cup.
Hello and welcome to Belmore Sports Ground for this Winfield Cup match between Canterbury, Bankstown and Parramatta. Grand finalists last year and certainly the dominant teams of the 80s, with the honour list reading Canterbury 1980, Parramatta 81, 82, 83, Canterbury again in 84 and 85, and then Parramatta again in 86. After 17 rounds of the premiership completed in 87, both are fighting to stay in touch with the top 5. Canterbury on 20 points, Parramatta on 18. When they met in round 5 at Parramatta Stadium, the Eels were the victors with a final scoreline of 20 points to 8. The Bulldogs come into this match after a 24 points to 8 win over Western Suburbs last weekend, while for Parramatta they were gallant in defeat at the hands of Manly by 30 to 22. The Canterbury team lineup today is Farah, O'Brien, Whitfield, P. Mortimer, Curry, Lamb, S. Mortimer captain, Langmack, Folkes, C. Mortimer, Jarvis, Bugden, Tunks. Parramatta's team for this clash is Delroy, Erickson, Muggleton, Jackson, Chalmers, Kenny, Sterling captain, Linda, Laurie, Wynn, Leibeder, Taylor and Jerd. The referee for the State Bank big game is Mick Stone. It's Parramatta running from left to right. Will be kicking off. Canterbury will be receiving the ball. And away they go. The referee, Mr. Mick Stone. Well, the first ball's been dropped by Langmack, but dropped behind him, and he was able to come up with the rebound. Well, Canterbury will start this campaign of theirs now with strength in the forwards. Tunks comes on the ball, gets very close to getting through. There was only one there to handle him, and that was Paul Taylor, right round the boot tops. The kick's been put in now. Delroy's underneath it, drops it behind him. He's got possession of the ball, 10 yards out from his line, tackled about 13 metres away from his line. Chalmers runs from dummy half, runs into a swarm of players there, but a gang tackling going on. Sterling, way to Jackson. Jackson runs into a hornet's nest in the shape of Jarvis there. Moving out to Kenny. Kenny's pass is a good one. Straight out to Ericsson. Ericsson goes slipping and sliding up the sideline. The ground is in really good condition despite the heavy rain we've had over the last couple of days. Taylor wearing a headgear. Unusual to see him in the headgear. Sterling got the kick in there. Whether or not there was a... Well, he's penalised Canterbury Bankstown for being... He's penalised Parramatta for being within the required distance around the man receiving the football. He hadn't knocked on at the point of time they were within the 5 yards.
But already in the opening minutes, we've seen the different set of tactics to be used by both sides. Canterbury with that swarming defence of theirs, especially in the forwards, their centres driving in on the 5/8 all the time, and Parramatta, the keys will be Peter Sterling and Brett Kenny as always. They'll be trying to cut out passes, long balls to try and catch Canterbury out wide.
David Fordham on the sideline. The breeze is favouring which side?
It's favouring Canterbury quite heavily in this first half, Rex. And one glaring thing we've noticed already with that bust up the middle by Peter Tunks. Interesting to note that Parramatta have the second worst defensive record in the league in 87, which is quite unusual for a Parramatta side.
Away they come with Linda getting to the dregs now, getting the pass on to Delroy. That was a kick through that was put in by Steve Mortimer. A kick and chase situation. Jackson out to Peter Witt. Goes firmly up the blind side. Tunks comes in and appeared to me to give a bit of a blow to the body. A bit of a dust up here now. Tunks and Leabeat are coming to grips there. I think from the look on either face, neither of them were really serious about going on with it. Taylor. This tiny little man, this little diminutive fellow playing with all these big Canterbury forwards. Astonishing. Very strong head-on tackle there by Langmack. Jerd. Out to Kenny. Kenny tries to release the ball around the side of the body but can't get it away. It's on the ground, knocked forward. It'll be a Canterbury Bankstown put-in.
Well, Canterbury was certainly up very quick. To my way of thinking, they were well inside the 5. Very lucky that another penalty hadn't gone Parramatta's way.
Canterbury come up with this one. Steve Mortimer runs the blind side. He'll be looking for a big game today, particularly against Peter Sterling. And now the crowd start their usual chant of getting back on side. Well, we've got a player down injured at the moment.
Pat Jarvis in a lot of pain. A man that New South Wales can't afford to lose with the State of Origin teams announced tonight. Also the fact that with this game now, Peter Tunks back in form, and Peter Tunks out to regain his New South Wales blue jumper as well.
Peter Sterling there won't offer him a hand. I don't blame him. Well, that should have been penalised. He didn't touch it with his foot. So we've got rules for the injured and rules for the fit. That's an absurd bit of decision there by referee Stone. From the moment they're injured, it doesn't make any difference. And he failed to touch that with his foot. Should have been a penalty directly in front. God, spare me days. Parramatta come up with a scrum win. Kenny driven sideways in the tackle. Linda. Well, Jarvis is going to make his removal from the field. We'll get an update from David Fordham on who'll be the replacement. Meanwhile, Muggleton comes up with a good run to get to within 10 metres of the halfway line. Taylor. Sterling. What a pass away to Wynn. Wynn's gone through. The pass goes to Jackson. He can't handle it. Lands there to scoop up the dregs. About 8 metres over the halfway line. Peter Kelly, the replacement, David?
Yes, he's the man wearing jersey number 40. Pat Jarvis in a lot of pain, Rex, and that's not a good sign for the New South Wales State of Origin side.
No, well, it's not a good sign that Pat Kelly's come on either as a replacement, because he had a great deal of trouble keeping up with the action in the reserve grade. I can't imagine it'll go any better in first grade for him. Steve Mortimer switching it across the ruck to Curry. Curry's coming in from the wing. And there's a penalty. Failure to get away from the tackle player. And that will be a penalty.
Showing his consistency, Michael Stone, from one end of the field. Parramatta receiving the same sort of treatment. Now Canterbury get there. Deserts an interesting Tony Curry there in 5. Man coming off that pass from Steve Mortimer. He might be wearing number 5, but Curry is actually playing in the fullback role. Farah in 1 and back in the centre position.
We've had 10 minutes of play. There's no score. This could be the opening score. Goes back very slowly for the first 4 paces, then hurries the last couple. Shortens it all down on the way in, strikes the ball sweetly. It's a goal. Canterbury 2, Parramatta 0. Taylor, Sterling, Kenny, cut out pass to Jackson. Jackson's got up through the defence, got it out to Chalmers. Chalmers gets towards the halfway line. Kenny, Sterling, turns it back to the blind to Kenny, and Kenny's pass goes straight over the sideline. They can ill afford errors like that.
A couple of mistakes coming up in the Parramatta side, mainly because of their eagerness to try and catch Canterbury. Switches of play, they're trying to look out wide. On the fringes outside in the back line, there certainly is a lot of gaps appearing in Canterbury Bankstown's defence.
Well, Canterbury have been awarded a penalty. Parramatta infringing the 5 yards in the ruck. Terry Lamb's going to take the kick at goal.
I think the man that will probably come up here is Colin Whitfield. Terry Lamb, this is probably far too out for Terry Lamb, and the Englishman Colin Whitfield, who wearing 3, and because of that backline reshuffle finds himself on the wing. A noted, a prolific goal kicker back home for his club, Halifax.
Whitfield will take it 7 metres inside the half. The wind's at his back. As I see it, David, the wind may have freshened a little bit.
It has freshened, Rex, but this is certainly not a distance problem for Colin Whitfield. As Graeme mentioned, one of the most prolific point scorers in the British Premiership. In fact, he was brought across from Wigan purely for his goal kicking to the Halifax club, and he played in that Challenge Cup final, which Graham Eady and Chris Anderson played in back on May 2.
Well, he's around the corner, stylist, but not very far around the corner. 3 paces. Gives that a oink. And has got it. So Canterbury go to a 4 points to 2 lead over Parramatta. And we've had 18 minutes of play. Muggleton's got the ball on the mound. Strikes it. Langmack takes it, feeds it to Curry. Curry tackled just about on his quarter line. Bugden, Steve Mortimer, Steve O'Brien. Bugden, Tunks. Still midfield there. Chris Mortimer came hard on the burst. It goes back to Farah for the kick downfield. Delroy feels that well. Paul Dunn's on the sideline with you, David.
Yes, he certainly is, Rex. And Paul, knee injuries to Canterbury forwards seem to be pretty fashionable. Sad news for Pat Jarvis.
Yeah, very sad for Pat. They said he dislocated his knee, came out and then went straight back in.
Well, Dunny, you've been on the sidelines for a while with a knee injury. How long before we see you sporting the blue and white of Canterbury again?
About 3 weeks, Dave, after the bye we play South Sydney.
And we've also got a problem with Michael Potter. How long's he out for?
Well, he's got another 5 weeks in plaster and probably a couple of weeks after that before.
Well, it's great strength to be able to come back looking towards the semi-finals. Canterbury obviously still a big threat if they can grab a spot in the top 5. Today, a very vital match.
Yeah, I think so, David. Like, we've won the last 3 in a row, and we're only 4 points off second spot at the moment. If we win today and East lose, then we're only 2 points.
Okay,
so
well,
still a chance at the top.
Speed of recovery to you and Pat Jarvis.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Peter Sterling, meanwhile, has used his alacrity and dexterity to great degree with a lovely kick down the sideline that Curry was dancing along beside it but failed to pick up. Canterbury come up with it. Looks like a try on here. Running well. Oh, and O'Brien, the man that they swear by up here, has put the football down.
Great break by Canterbury, the first time they've really cut loose out wide. A terrific pass from Terry Lamb to put Curry into the open spaces, and an excellent pass from Curry as he was going down. It was just to the side of O'Brien, a pass that he should have taken. He had plenty of room in which to take on Michael Erickson, and there he is, Brian Jackson, finally being forced to leave the field, and Tony Casado out there in 16.
Tony Casado takes the field in number 16, Pat Kelly in number 40. They've used up 2 of their 4 replacements. Win goes to dummy half. On to Stan Jerd. Motors forward about 8 metres. Paul Taylor having a run from dummy half. Now Stan Jerd at dummy half. Sterling. Cut out pass to Kenny. Delroy. I'm frightened this fella's going to break in 2. Every time I see him tackle, his body goes into gyrations. He's a smart player, no question about it, but I sometimes wonder whether he's strong enough. Well, some of the Canterbury backs were caught offside in that defensive area. The penalty's been taken. Taylor goes for a sprint. First tackle onto Sterling. Chalmers comes in from the wing. Now Leabeater plows forward another 8 or 10 metres. Win. Away to Jerd, who was wrapped up straight away. No room to move at all. Taylor. Sterling. Kenny. Pass there out to Laurie. Laurie's got it away on the wing to the fullback Delroy. Sterling puts a bomb up. It's going to fall in the field of play. It's been knocked backwards and he's offside. Came off a Parramatta player to the Parramatta number 10, Peter Wynn, and he was ruled offside.
Steve Mortimer giving all the directions there for his Canterbury side. It's been a fairly quiet first half for the little number 7. I expect him to play a lot bigger role in the second half. We count down to 7 or 8 minutes now before half-time. He's the real danger man in the Canterbury side, especially when he goes from the dummy half position. A very big reason why Paul Taylor finds himself wearing number 12 for Parramatta too. He's there to keep his eye on Mortimer when he tries to run out of the middle of the ruck.
Canterbury have come away with some play to get them up 10 metres beyond their quarter. Tunks on the boil up the middle. Bugden. Langmack throws the dummy. Offloads now to Farrar. He swivels in a defence. Makes a few more yards. Muggo there with Lamb has had a bit of an altercation. The play goes on. Out to Kelly. Kelly charges at the opposition. The referee stops the play. And Lamb and Muggleton will come together with a touch judge. Well, I didn't see the action. I can't tell you what went on. I just caught the tail end of it. But the penalty goes to Parramatta, so it appears that Terry Lamb was the transgressor. 7 minutes to half-time. The score, Canterbury 4, Parramatta 0. Just before half-time would be a great time for Parramatta to get their act together and to get a try on the board. Taylor. Laurie. Sterling. Casato on the quarter line. Taylor. Sterling. Kenny. Steps. Still going. Got extraordinary acceleration, this fella. Linda. Sterling. Well, he's picked off there after making about 7 or 8 metres and driven backwards. The last tackle coming up. He's not there to do anything about it. Muggleton gets a kick in. This will go to Curry. Stands his ground, takes it well, so back they come to the quarter line.
Mick Stone's picked up Andrew Farah. He put a shoulder charge into Nick Delroy as he was trying to follow the ball. Andrew Farah, the man wearing the number 1 jumper. It'll be out here. Delroy there just starting to position himself outside Muggleton. He's coming into he'll come into the picture from the right-hand side. And Andrew Farah is the man that decides to put the shoulder charge down. Michael Stone was waving his finger in back play at the incident. Had no trouble in picking him off.
Now Muggo from around about 12 metres out and about 10 metres off centre. He's okay. It's Parramatta 2, Canterbury Bankstown 4, with 4 minutes to go to half-time. Terry Lamb to restart the action. Taken by Linda. Gets out to the quarter line. Wynn, Sterling, Casato. Sterling. Getting in each other's way there. 2 of them went for that ball. Taylor to Sterling. Kicking downfield. Curry feels it. Away to O'Brien. O'Brien's gone over 2 of them. 3 of them. He's going strongly. He's up over the quarter and put out finally by a top tackle from Nick Delroy. Kelly. Steve Mortimer. Long cut-out pass to Terry Lamb. Lamb to Farah. Farah to Peter Mortimer. Away out there to Colin Whitfield, who was playing on the wing in that particular movement. Good defence from Parramatta. Terry Lamb steps, goes back towards the line again, gets it away to Whitfield again. Bugden, Steve Mortimer, Langmack, Steve Mortimer. Still got a couple of tackles to go. Terry Lamb, Peter Mortimer. He's broken the tackle. Oh yes, it's a good one. Peter Mortimer's the scorer of it at full stretch. He's come up with a great solo try there. Showed the ball and they fell for it.
So often a game can change just prior to the half-time break on the State Bank replay. All the skills, Peter Mortimer. Don't worry about the greying hair. It's showing nothing but plenty of experience. Peter Sterling went for the dummy. Brett Kenny held off thinking the pass was going and he just stretched to make the line. Plenty of hesitation in the Parramatta defence. The crowd was calling for offside from Paul Taylor. But Peter Mortimer stepping back inside, plenty of room to move there. There goes Sterling with the first dummy and the defence holds off with the second one. Great skills from Peter Mortimer.
First class try to Peter Mortimer, who's got 28 years officially on the board, but it's a hell of a lot of experience in that. Lamb. The roar of the crowd tells us that he's been successful. So Canterbury Bankstown now 10, Parramatta 2, and I believe the half-time whistle has gone. And an interesting first half of football. We've got Canterbury try to Peter Mortimer, goals Lamb 2 from 2, Whitfield 1 from 2. Parramatta's 4 points came from Parramatta's 2 points came from Muggleton, 1 from 2 attempts. So an astonishing game of football. We'll have some more of the same in just a moment. Well, Parramatta have got it all to do. 10 points to 2 in deficit at half-time. Canterbury playing with some authority, although they've lost Pat Jarvis with what we've got a report on. David Fordham, you can give us the information on that.
Well, apparently the Canterbury officials are being a little bit guarded. They did say that it's only ligament and cartilage damage, but Paul Dunn, who does know what knee injuries are all about, did tell us on the sideline it was a dislocated knee. So let's hope it is the former and not the major injury to Pat Jarvis. The breeze has dropped, Rex, and one thing that I'm pleased to report, the sun is shining. As you know, sitting on the touchline, those clouds did look a bit ominous early in the first half.
OK, well, we're back with the action now. Parramatta in possession about 8 metres outside their quarter. Away to Sterling. He elects to kick. Will be fielded by Steve O'Brien. He's already been responsible for one particularly good run in which he defeated 3 defenders. Andrew Farah going a blind side, not very heavily populated with attackers there. Has Curry gone for a sprint up the blind? They're not guarding at Parramatta. Steve Mortimer. Langmack on the charge, 10 metres inside the Parramatta half. Swinging it back to Steve Mortimer. Out to O'Brien, and the young man goes very, very strongly and hard for 5 or 6 metres. Back to Lamb. Gets a grubber kick in. I think it was touched in flight. Casado's fallen on it. Now Taylor's a dummy half. To Kenny. They're passing the ball very, very dangerously close to their line. They're only about a metre out from their goal line with a couple of long passes. Muggleton onto Linda, and that looked a modicum forward. Peter Wynn. They're out to the quarter line. It's the 5th tackle. Ricochet again. Peter Kelly's fallen on it for the Canterbury Bankstown side. They'll be disorganised. Parramatta back inside to Bugden. Away to Kelly. Sterling sticking to his guns. He's got him in a bear hug and he's not letting go. Terry Lamb. They drive him back about 4 metres. Bugden turns it on the inside. It's a low pass. Went to the ground. Was scooped up without knocking on by Steve Mortimer. Now Mortimer's complaining about having the ball knocked out of his hands. He's been around long enough to know that's not on. Well, Mr. Stone wants that all again. Sterling has to fall on that at the base of the scrum. Away to Kenny. Mark Laurie. Taylor. Jerd. Very hard hit. Chris Mortimer responsible for that. I think Bob Linder was tackled on suspicion then, didn't have the football. Sterling's kick goes back towards the quarter. It's fielded by Curry. Out to O'Brien. And Ericsson comes to him, grabs him by the arm, and down he goes. Lamb to Farah. Bugden. Mortimer. Well, he's tried that 2 or 3 times today. That's the nearest he's been to success. Langmack drops the pass to O'Brien. Couple of metres short of the quarter line, Parramatta's end, on to Kelly. Bugden, Mortimer, Lamb, Farah, Peter Mortimer onto Terry Lamb. Got the pass away, but it was intercepted by Parramatta.
And once again, the Parramatta defence starting to fall for the Peter Mortimer dummies. On this occasion, though, the pass went too early to Terry Lamb. He didn't take the fullback in off the tackle.
Casado trying to dummy Farah and got a heavy tackle and has lost the football. Peter Taylor was responsible for that, and I think Terry Lamb's there. Little bit of a punch-up going on in goal, but there was a moment when Paul Taylor lost the football in a tackle, and from there Lamb was able to go over.
On the State Bank replay, very sloppy defence from Parramatta. They need a big performance, especially in the first 10 minutes of the second half. It's just not there. Paul Taylor, the man, was robbed of the football. Terry Lamb was there to pick up the dregs, but it was Paul Lamb just coming back into play after being down for attention for some time in back play. He had a clash of heads with Terry Leabeater, who was groggy onto his feet. He's come up with a major mistake, and Terry Lamb there to put the nail in the coffin for Parramatta.
That really is unforgivable. And the only thing in Paul Taylor's favour is that he had the ball stolen by probably the largest man on the field in Peter Tunks. But really to slip him into the hooking role, he's done nothing wrong except that. But to slip him into the hooking role today was not really fair to him. Meanwhile, the score has crept along to 14 points to 2. The conversion from Lamb will make it even more so.
Well, Terry Lamb's got a lot of problems here with the thigh muscle, so he's giving the call out to Steve Mortimer. His captain's coming up now. He obviously can't run it out, so Colin Whitfield will be the man that will come back after already making success with 1 from 2, a long range attempt earlier on. So they certainly lose nothing in the goal kicking department.
The dimensions of the kick, about 16 metres out from the goal line and possibly about 20 metres off centre. Colin Whitfield. He's successful. So the score slips away down to Canterbury 16, Parramatta 2. Well, Terry Lamb has not come from the field. He's still standing in the in-goal area. He got some stretching done by the trainer. Andrew Farah takes it. The kickoff. Brings it out to 3 metres from the quarter. Langmack. Corralled there by Taylor, like throwing a steer. Bugden, O'Brien. Mortimer on to Tunks. Tunks on the drive. Hitting that line enormously hard. Kelly. Farah. Delroy looking into the sun from where he is. Feels that okay on about the second bounce. And gets out to his quarter line. 16 points to 2.
Parramatta searching for a lot of answers. Let's just see how quickly they try and go out wide through Kenny and Sterling.
Sterling, Kenny, Muggleton having 2 snatches of that football. Didn't get it to his hands cleanly. Sterling, Wynn, Delroy stepping. He's turned him around. Oh, he was taken out of it there by Curry with a legitimate head-on tackle. Sterling kicks downfield. It's going to roll very close to the in-goal area. Peter Mortimer picks it up. Canterbury taking a fair bit of time to get back on side. Curry, Steve Mortimer. Whitfield comes away with a relieving run. Bugden, Steve Mortimer, Andrew Farrer. Curry, Langmack. Well, Peter Kelly's being led from the field at the moment.
Yes, Rex, a bloodied mouth. He's been replaced by James Donnelly wearing number 22, but Kelly's been a bit groggy since he's come back on from half-time. He took a nasty knock a moment ago, and James Donnelly's just received instructions on the telephone here on the touchline from the Canterbury coach, Warren Ryan.
Chris Mortimer. Suicidal sort of a pass he was fed there by his brother. Tunks. Got a pass away there to Folkes, who hasn't played a role that one would say was instrumental in the win in this particular game. Lamb kicked, went ahead, got to it, scooped it up, got a pass away again. 6 to go, out to Andrew Farrer. Farrer to Steve Mortimer. Mortimer out to O'Brien. O'Brien there. He's there. So another error, allowing Terry Lamb to scoot through, pick up the ball. See it again.
He's noticed this the second time today when the defence, there was nobody at home. On the State Bank replay, a beautiful little grubber kick by Lamb. Terry Leavitt tried to get there. He had him by one hand, but plenty of support for Lamb as he now starts to look around. The pass was knocked back inside by a Parramatta player. Play on called, Mick Stone. Andrew Farrer saw the opportunity out wide. Steve Mortimer read the play exceptionally well to get there, to feed into the line. And Steve O'Brien, plenty of strength in situations like that, although the replay, we might have to check again to see if he really did ground that ball properly. Here we see Terry Leavitt arriving just too late to stop Terry Lamb. He bounced back up to his feet. Plenty of support, as I said before. The ball knocked by Parramatta. Now Andrew Farrer searches out wide, and the problem here is, did Steve O'Brien ground the ball correctly? As we see him go for the line, he was just short of the line, and he did get the ball down. Plenty of strength in situations like that, virtually unstoppable. Steve O'Brien taking over the mantle from the man that was renowned in that position, Eric Grothe.
Steve O'Brien, 22 years of age, some say a natural for the New South Wales State of Origin side. We shall see. Well, whatever injury Terry Lamb had before, it's soon over. A knock to a nerve perhaps in the leg, numbed it. He's okay now. Going to attempt the conversion from the quarter line junction with the sideline. Well, there it is, 20 points to 2. Canterbury really got a death grip on this game, and I'm afraid Parramatta are for the high jump in 1987. Tunks gets a one-handed pass away. I think it was Andrew Farrer fielded that. And now Parramatta are getting ready to make a change.
Yes, Peter Ford is on in number 21. He played lock forward in reserve grade when they suffered a 14 points to 6 Rex. It looks so he's looking down the barrel of 2 losses in one afternoon here at Belmore.
Well, it was a dreadful, dreadful game, the reserve grade, if you were a Parramatta fan, because they couldn't hold the football and they were leading the competition when they went into the game, and they've come out of it very badly. Steve Mortimer gets the bounce, kicks ahead, gets the bounce, and then lost the ball and has been designated as a tackler before he got the ball.
Brett Kenny was a man that had read the chip was on. He was just running shoulder to shoulder with Steve Mortimer. Mick Stone arguing the fact that he affected the tackle. Well, again, that's a fairly tough penalty from my way of thinking.
Lamb a metre outside the quarter, about 7 or 8 metres off centre. Should have little trouble with this. He's got it. So the score now moves on to Canterbury Bankstown 22, Parramatta 2. I've got to tell you, it rained all night at Balgala, which is on the seaside, and I anticipated when I saw rain this morning this game would be played in a quagmire, but I believe there's been no rain inland at all. Definitely coastal. Bugden threw the pass nowhere, out to Whitfield. Picked up the dregs. Langmack back inside. Oh, they'll thank him for that. Stephen Folkes ought to give him a lock of his hair from that one. Bugden living in that dummy half position. Away to Peter Tunks. Beautiful handling. Out to Steve Mortimer. Andrew Farah going strongly. Gets a pass back inside as goes to ground. Picked up by Terry Leabeater. Canterbury are a very strong side, but they are incapable sometimes of doing the clever things easy. They made a real meal of that. They had 3-man overlap there at one stage, reduced to 2, and then the pass went to ground. Sterling, quick hands, beautifully away to to Casato rather. Picked off 5 metres inside Canterbury's half. Stan Jerd. We've got 15, 17 minutes in this match to go. Wynn kicks ahead. Steve Mortimer takes it beautifully. Gets it to Casato, to Curry, who goes to ground with it. Chris Mortimer, who's had a very solid game today. Langmack. Heavily dumped on the quarter line. Still going the blind side, out to Tunks. Looking to get one of those one-handed passes of his away. Lamb, Mortimer, Farah, Peter Mortimer, out to Whitfield. Whitfield not quite enough pace to get away from Chambers, but a fend in his face and ran on for another 7 yards. Lamb. That was Chris Mortimer, got the pass back inside. Peter Mortimer finishes up with it. That was a handover.
Plenty of bright attack from Canterbury this afternoon, a strong scoreline of 22 points to 2. But this is the sort of thing that's coming back to win the fans at Canterbury. The defence is starting to come back. There was stories out of last week's clash against Western Suburbs that the forwards were starting to regain the enthusiasm that saw them win titles in 84 and 85 and only just missed last year. The defence has been exceptional today, and Parramatta have really struggled at times to find the gaps.
That pass from Kenny to Linda there was much too hard in the circumstances. Whitfield was all over him, and he had little chance to take it. See it again. Peter Ford running from dummy half. Got up and played it. I thought he had a marker, but the marker obviously was standing away to the left. Taylor, Sterling, Kenny, Delroy. This will be, I don't believe there was any malicious intent in this. I don't believe it was even very hard. Stephen Folkes coming from the field. Who's going on?
In number 21, Rex, Greg Whitbread from the reserve grade side.
Greg Whitbread, 21. Okay, the penalty's been taken. Leabeater comes on the charge. They've not been ferocious today, Jerd or he. Sterling, Kenny, Delroy again, running into a brick wall out there. Sterling resorting to the kick. Ball goes into the in-goal area. Oi! Very close indeed. Brett Kenny very nearly got a hand to that. See that again.
Well, an excellent kick from Peter Sterling, and a dangerous thing for fullback, I always believe, just to knock that ball like that. If you can get one hand to it, why not try and get the two and force it, go down with the ball.
Curry's got an egg on his face from a previous match, so I'm surprised at him doing something like that. Terry Lamb with 9.5 minutes to go. 22 points to 2. Stan Jerd comes around the edge of the ruck there and made a bit of an inroad. Taylor, Wynn, stands in the tackle. Back to Taylor, onto Leabeater, through an overhead pass, out to 2, Ericsson, onto Chalmers, the other wing three-quarter, who goes in for a try. As simple as that, and as out of character as that. That's the way that Parramatta try happened. See it again.
They haven't given up. Strong play by Parramatta. Short blind side here. We see the ball coming around to Terry Leabeater, who gets an excellent long ball away. He read that there was gaps out wide. He drew in Peter Mortimer and also Paul Langmack. Gave the start for Michael Ericsson and back inside for Tony Chalmers. Parramatta trying to put some pride back into that scoreline. The game is virtually gone, as we see again the short blind here that Parramatta are trying to work away at. They haven't been able to find any gaps out wide through the defences of Peter Mortimer and also Andrew Farah. And out wide they had the numbers for Ericsson, back inside for Tony Chalmers for the clear run to the line. Peter Mortimer giving chase.
Muggleton will attempt to convert this from the quarter line and about 10 metres in from the sideline, 9.5 metres perhaps. Moving in. Just away to the left, I believe. So the score remains Canterbury Bankstown 22, Parramatta 6. Terry Lamb away. Goes a little shorter this time. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Leabeater let it go. Pulled away from it, and Wynn was sort of rooted to the spot and couldn't move, so the ball's over the sideline. Casado playing as a 5'8" there in that particular scrum. Canterbury defence still pretty keen. Keen not to let them score any more points. There's a kick by Sterling has taken play back towards the halfway line. So this will be fed by Sterling, as it was only the third tackle, but it's one against the feed. A one by Canterbury. Terry Lamb comes up with it. Mortimer trying to make that initial bust from dummy half. Bugden, Langmack to Lamb. I think they're a wake up to that one. Peter Tunks, good solid tackle there. Over the top by Stan Jerd. Bugden. Last tackle coming up now. Now Bugden's turn to get hurt. I think perhaps he's got a cramp. About 5 metres out from the quarter line. Steve Mortimer, Langmack, Tunks, Whitbread, bounced off one defender. Steve Mortimer, Andrew Farah changes direction, gets a pass away, and knock on was the ruling by the referee. Well, it's the longest minute in history. I said about a minute and a half ago. There it is. So the score, just as the crowd get deafening, the score line reads Canterbury 22, Parramatta 6. The try scorers have been Peter Mortimer, Terry Lamb, Steve O'Brien. Lamb 3 goals, Whitfield 2 goals. That's the Canterbury 22. Parramatta 6 were Chalmers, 1 try, Muggleton 1 goal. A very substandard performance by Parramatta, and I think that they would be just about finished for the year. But mathematically it's possible for them to make it, but not theoretically.
Every week they're at it, never daring to let up. 'Cause winning's the only thing that counts when you're playing for the Winfield Cup. It doesn't matter if you're famous or a youngster making his way. There's only one thing that matters, and that's how well you play. That's what the big game's all about. Giving it the best you can. Always being a leader, never bowing to any man. Giving it all you know, giving it your best shot. Making every step a winner, proving what it takes you got. Every week they're at it, giving it their all. But who will it be this year to collect the greatest prize of all?
Some extremely interesting results in all the other games from last Sunday. Let's go to all the highlights of those matches.
The Dragons breathed fire against the East in Monday night football in the last round. Today they backed up against the Raiders at Seaford Oval.
Although Gary Belcher scored the only try in the first half, the Raiders still trailed 5-4 at half-time. Canberra went in front early in the second half when Matthew Corkery crossed out wide. The Dragons had no fire as the Raiders scored 4 tries to 0. In this movement, Peter Jackson delivered the final pass that put Kevin Walters over.
And at the Wollongong Showground this afternoon, Illawarra came off the bye to tackle the Bears.
And it was North Sydney that got the break 16 minutes in when Brett French served up a lovely pass for Steve Casey. Steve Larder denied the Bears a try-scoring chance midway through the second half. It looked as though the Bears would hold on and win when Steve Larder put up the kick with only minutes remaining. The ball was fumbled in goal and dived on by Peter Spring, and the Steelers had got out of jail against the luckless Bears.
Last round losers East and Balmain both searched for the vital 2 points with their clash at the SCG this afternoon.
The heavy conditions played a vital role in the match being so evenly contested. Eastern Suburbs came up with the opening try after Gary Jack lost the ball in a heavy tackle. Steve Morris picked up the loose ball before sending David French on his way. Arthur Beetson was smiling just before the break when Trevor Gilmeister cleverly created a yawning gap for John Tobin. The Tigers looked a beaten side midway through the second half after trailing 10-0 at half-time. However, a switch in play resulted in Wayne Pearce's try being converted. Balmain started a surge inside the last 5 minutes. Jamie Davison raced up the touchline, sending the ball back inside for Gary Schofield. And after the kick, Balmain now led 12-11. But with 2 minutes remaining on the clock, Melrose calmly potted a field goal, leaving the final score deadlocked at 12-all.
Let's go to the Monday night clash. Souths and Wests under the lights at the SCG. Western Suburbs very lowly rated on the competition table all year long, but George Piggins, I'm sure, would have been reiterating to his charges not to take the Magpies too lightly.
Tonight's round 18 Winfield Cup match between South Sydney and Western Suburbs is coming live from the Sydney Cricket Ground.
Well, thanks, Rex. Of course, South Sydney certainly have become the specialists under the lights Monday night football. Since the inception back in 1985, the Rabbitohs have won 8 out of 9 under the lights, and they are expected to win again tonight. Simply, the conditions become a great leveller for Western Suburbs, of course, but the South Sydney forwards should certainly see them roll away once again with the Winfield Cup points here tonight. Let's just check the full lineup from fullback for the South Sydney side tonight. David Cruikshank, Ross Harrington, Steve Maven, Michael Blake, Jason Moon, Mark Ellison and Coleman are the halves. The forwards, Andrews, Davidson and Roberts. In the front row of Boyle, Fennick and Ian Roberts. And David Fordham, I guess as you look at it, I think South Sydney are certainly odds on to improve on that 8 out of 9 record.
Well, thank you, Graham. And one of the 8 successes of South Sydney was, in fact, against Western Suburbs at the Sydney Cricket Ground under lights last year. In fact, on June the 30th, when the Rabbitohs got away with the Magpies to the tune of 23 points to 16. Well, the Magpies have been forced to make 3 late changes to their original lineup for tonight's clash under lights at the SCG. In fact, coming in at fullback is a replacement wearing jersey number 29 is Ian Naden. The 3-quarters of Philip Duke, Alan Geelan, John Allenson, and the newcomer making his first grade debut tonight, a local junior, Jason Williams, who'll wear number 15. The halves of Brett Clark and Trevor Cogger. The forwards led by Ian Schubert, John Elias, John Bilberger, Ian Freeman, Alan Fowler, and the other prop forward is Scott Tronk. The side, of course, is coached by Steve Goshen.
Well, both sides have taken the field for this important clash to South Sydney. It's important too for Western Suburbs. A win would get them scurrying away from the bottom of the table. But South Sydney need the points. They need them desperately, and I don't believe that they're going to take a backward step tonight. I think the forwards of South Sydney will drive hard all through the night, through the mud. And we're not free of this rain that came down torrentially only about an hour ago. It lasted for about 20 minutes. The ground was drying out reasonably well, and that put paid to any thoughts of open football. But the reserve grade handled the ball reasonably well. There was some good football in the game, and the scores in the games were under 23s, South 14, West 10. The reserve grade, I thought, a particularly good exhibition of wet weather play. South Sydney 10, Western Suburbs 6. Western Suburbs occupy last place in 3 grades. And they still do in the under 23s and reserve grade after the result tonight. It's open to the result of this game to see whether the first, they'll be equal last with Norths and Penrith if they come up with a win tonight. Western Suburbs running from left to right. We're playing in the black and white uniform. South Sydney receiving the ball in the green and red. The referee, curiously, is Mr. McCullum, who's 3 on the trot for this Monday night football. The first ball mishandled by Andrews, goes backwards, and he's mauled hard there in the quarter, only about 15 metres out from the line. Mario Fennick for the first time going for a run from dummy half. I believe he'll be doing that all night. Coleman with a cutout pass to Davidson. Beautifully away to Cruikshank, going strongly, gets a pass away. No, he doesn't. Just time to look to give a pass to Ian Roberts, and Roberts has run way downfield, anticipating a kick. I was expecting the referee to penalise him for that. They'll certainly penalise him after this season. There's Mario Fennick going for a sprint. Now here go the South Sydney forwards. Craig Coleman out to Harrington. Harrington's caught by the neck, gets a pass away to Coleman. Coleman's got time to get it into Fennick. Fennick stands in a tackle, and I believe it'll be a handover. Yes, it will. That's right, Mario, put it on the ground. Scott Tronk comes up with it, loses the ball first off. Way to Roberts, back inside to Davidson. Davidson steaming ahead, going right up to the quarter line. Tackle by Freeman. Andrews, Coleman, Mario Fennick ducks under a tackle, goes straight ahead for 15 metres. A good straight run. Already he's assuming the mantle I expected of him. Boyle, Ellison, Davidson caught on the tackle, can't get the ball free. Arms locked to his side. Just inside the Western Suburbs quarter. Andrews Coleman, little stab kick through. They're racing for it. I believe it was knocked on by Marvin, but it's also offside. That's the first penalty of the match to Western Suburbs.
And there'll be a lot more kicking like this right throughout the night. A good little grubber kick from Coleman. Maven was ruled offside, but there'll be a hell of a lot more kicking, especially to the corners of all 4 corners here tonight in the football, because errors inside your own quarter are going to be all important. If you can maintain a good set of 6 tackles defensively, the opposition, you've got to come up with those errors inside their own half. They're the ones that can turn them around. You come up with the ball and come up with the points.
Well, the referee had obviously called tackle mid that little hurly-burly there. I don't know how the South Sydney players are expected to stop tackling Freeman, but he's penalised South Sydney. Coleman, no, it's Coleman's ball. Yes, I think Coleman came up and asked the question. In and out to Ellison. Ellison drives the ball downfield, stops in the mud about 8 metres out from the line. Naden falls on it, picks it up, taken down hard by Moon. Gillen, Schubert. He's got to get some kicking game in here. Schubert, he's got to have somebody designated to reef the ball downfield. It's suicidal not to in these conditions. Back to Fella, now to Naden. It's made the halfway line, stops in the mud, picked up by Cruikshank. He's got plenty of pace, this young lad. Gillen puts him down 7 metres inside the half. Blake. Coleman. Roberts. Coleman calling for Roberts to get up quickly and play it. Comes back the blind side. Onto Ellison. Ellison throws the dummy, gets nearly through there. Coleman. Roberts. Pass to Coleman. Coleman back in the inside to Boyle. Boyle to Fenwick. Fenwick sights an opening. Goes strong and hard. Very, very straight run. Good stuff. To his feet and plays it. Coleman out to Ellison. Oh, Ellison's going to score, I think. Yes, he is. Ellison threw the dummy. They hung off and over he went. Very good play by South Sydney. Had plenty of numbers out there on the left. See it again.
Confident start by South Sydney, even under the conditions they've been. Their handling has been superb. Beautifully grabbed in by Coleman. He set himself to kick through the dummy. Ellison found plenty of open spaces, looking for the gaps, and defence on the line there from Schubert, but he just crashed over. They're playing with plenty of confidence. As I said earlier this evening, that they are the specialists under lights. 8 out of 9 Monday night football. Mark Ellison, a good player for South Sydney against Balmain here under lights on the first night, and plenty of skills there from the 5'8". Beautifully taken in by Coleman to set them on their way, but short in numbers. Western Suburbs on the blind side. Too many of the defensive players standing back and not moving up in the line.
Well, I'd imagine goal kicking is going to be a pretty hazardous exercise under these conditions. Not the least of which would be to lose your footing completely as you strike the ball and land on the broad of your back. That's how bad the conditions are. So most of the goal kickers I've seen in the under-23s and the reserve grade were virtually stabbing at the ball, not following through very far for fear of overbalancing. Ellison. Just away to the left. It probably wouldn't have gone over had it been straight. So the score remains South Sydney 4, Western Suburbs 0. Western Suburbs are back in possession after the kick-off. There was a South Sydney error in the quarter. West have made a couple of errors, but the ball hasn't gone forward. This time it's with Freeman. He burrows for the line. That's a good solid run. Just about 3 metres outside the quarter. Crisscross move work there on the ruck. Given away to Naden, the fullback, who chimed in. Last tackle coming up. Elias out to Brett Clark. Rubber kicks for the in-goal area. And skated over the sideline and still going on the broad of his back 7 or 8 yards later was Ross Harrington.
And coming up with the right tactics too, Brett Clark. We saw Craig Coleman put a grubber kick in. This time Clark struck it as subtle as he could because of the conditions. He knew the ball was going to pull up.
Well, the steam coming off the players out there, if our cameras are picking that up, is absolutely astonishing. Have a look at that, the engine room. Ellison, Cruikshank kicks ahead, the race is on. I think Cogger will get there first. He does, and he slides into the in-goal area. Good running again from Cruikshank.
So George Piggins is certainly impressed upon this South Sydney side to continue to kick right throughout the game. Again, good tactics and plenty of enthusiasm in the chase there from David Cruikshank.
Mario Fennick tackled straight away by Scott Trump. And there's the hooter. A very interesting first half, a half in which West were not disgraced. They've been nearly caught napping a couple of times by kick-throughs, but South Sydney's try came to Ellison, a good blindside move, worked with him trying dummies. The Western Suburbs haven't come up with a point. South Sydney were unable to convert their try. 4 points to 0 South Sydney. We're going to hope for more action in the second half. Fella, Cogger, Elias stands, gets it back to, that was Elias. Bilberger was the man that gave it to him, to Fella. Brett Clark, Schubert, Allenson sights the line and goes, he's in! Western Suburbs have scored. John Allenson has come off a Schubert pass and gone and scored a try. See that one again.
So plenty of trouble now for South Sydney as they try to keep pace with the leaders in the Winfield Cup. A great ball from Ian Schubert. He was looking wide, then he just held the pass up brilliantly. He heard the call from Allenson, who was coming. He saw the line. Johnny Raper was talking at half-time. The quickest way to that try line is straight ahead. He had no opposition. Les Davidson was the man arriving too late on the spot. Brett Clark saw they had the numbers. And Ian Schubert, this is the ball that made it. He drew Mario Fennick in. He put him through the half gap. Craig Coleman couldn't get there. And Les Davidson, the man who's been struggling in back play a little bit with injury. More of that shortly. But Brett Clark, good quick hands, and Ian Schubert, all the experience there in just sucking the defence in to provide the spaces there for John Allenson, who has played strongly in the centre for Western Suburbs tonight, and plenty of problems for South Sydney, and David Fordham also a change for the Rabbitohs.
Yes, the man you spoke about, Les Davidson, arriving too late. Just at that stage, the Joe Thomas, the reserve grade captain, was warming up to replace the international Kangaroo second row forward. But Davidson making his exit from the Sydney Cricket Ground, his replacement, number 22, Joe Thomas.
Okay, well, we've got a kick at goal in front of us if this one goes over, which is highly doubtful from out there. Brett Davis is the kicker from 3 metres inside the quarter and about 8 metres in from the sideline. It will be a hell of a shock in these conditions. Never a chance, never gave it a chance, never high enough. So the scores, South Sydney 4, West 4.
And South Sydney aligned extremely deep, hoping for this scrum feed. If they can get a nice clean ball out, no doubt Mark Ellison will be looking for David Cruikshank to come into the back line.
Ellison, Cruikshank comes into the line straight and hard, finishes up 11 metres out. Now let's see what happens from here. Back to Ellison, on to Lindsay Johnson. Can't release the ball, wrapped up properly. Schubert's the tackler. Coleman goes from dummy half. He's tackled too. I think they're working towards there was a little knock on there. Well, the referee didn't see that, or I'm seeing double. Coleman has to fall on it.
And the difficulty here with the field goal is that in the mud in the centre of the field, in case if he goes for the field goal, he's got to look for the bounce and leverage to try and get it into the air.
Well, he's gone for the bomb. It's gone into the in-goal area. Who's got it? Knocked on in goal. Knocked on in goal. By heavens, the South Sydney fans won't enjoy that.
So they elected to go for the bomb. The ball was chased by Cruikshank and coming forward. And Greg McCullum certainly on the spot again as the crowd wanting to dispute the decision with the referee, but Cruikshank losing the ball and not being able to control it.
Well, I think Western Suburbs will be eminently happy with a 1 point from this game. But it's not over yet. We've still got time for a result either way. Actually, it's been a very bright game. There's been some good running, some good handling and passing. Alan Feller at dummy half. Wayne Lampkin swung around, caught by the jumper. Brett Clark driving the ball deep. Fails to get it, and over the sideline it goes. Tried to stop it with his foot.
David Moon nearly coming up with the same mistake as Ross Harrington a few moments ago, who tried to play at the ball that led to the West scrum fee, but fortunately for South Sydney, he didn't get a touch as he stuck his foot out.
The scrum going down on the quarter. In and out. Ellison tries to dummy. Nobody falls for that. That's Donnellan there, number 21. Naden, the fullback, number 29. There's Thomas, the replacement forward for South Sydney, running. Waste of a tackle that time, Michael Blake. David Boyle clutching the ball grimly to his chest, runs. Coleman. Lindsay Johnson, good pass. Got it away to Ellison. Oh, it's been taken as an intercept by Geelan. Knocked it in the air, caught it again and set sail. Here go Western Suburbs. Williams. Brett Clark stops and tries to dummy, but can't do anything. Has the ball stolen from him. That was Boyle that stole the ball from him. Lindsay Johnson coming away from dummy half. Moving it out to the left to Michael Blake. He swung to the ground 10 metres his own side of halfway. There's the Ellison kick downfield. It won't find touch. Picked off by the tackle of Andrews. Was Brett Clark. Number 15 there, Scott Davis, or Brett Davis, is in some sort of trouble. It looks like a cramp to me. Well, there's a Western Suburbs change. They're coming thick and fast. David.
Well, it's finally, after about a 7 or 8 minute warm-up on the touchline, Wayne Lampkin in number 55 has made his way onto the field, and it appears that Freeman is the man coming off.
Well, Freeman's put a lot of hard work into that game. He's not the most attractive footballer to watch. He tends to die with the football. But the game suited his plans tonight, and he did a good job. Wayne Lampkin coming away with a strong burst. Oh, Cogger's kick, Brett Clark's kick was not strong. It just trickled off his foot. Now South Sydney back in possession. They're only about 36 metres out. Fennick runs from dummy half, can't get through the tackle. David Moon running, flattened by 2 Western Suburbs players. This is all taking place about 8 metres outside the quarter. Joey Thomas. The last tackle. Will they try the bomb again? They do. It's cleaned up in goal by Western Suburbs.
And lucky on this occasion, the Magpies, at lack of communication. Nobody wanted to take the ball on the full. They were fortunate the bounce wasn't awkward and favouring them, but geez, that is just signing a death warrant there if you just want to let a ball bounce around in your own in goal.
Brett Clark finally getting to it and cleaning it up, but the opinion is right. It's a death wish. From the kickoff, David Moon gets the ball fed to him. He runs hard, gets barreled too. Lampkin's there to tackle him. Still about 6 minutes to go. Time for a result. I don't know where they'd kick a field goal from here at the moment. Lindsay Johnson. Back inside to Thomas. Thomas away to Andrews. Andrews strong. Fenn going, crawling along the ground. He's only about 5 metres away. Out to Ellison. Ellison, the little rubber kick through. It's knocked on in goal again. And still South Sydney pound away, trying desperately to get a result.
The ball going free, but McCallum in a good spot to rule that Western Suburbs hand did force the ball. It was lost there, not forced. But claiming that while he claimed in actual fact that the ball was forced on the first occasion, South claiming the try. The minutes ticking away now, just under 6 minutes. South Sydney certainly have got to take the option, whether they can try and lift this ball out of the mud or not. They've got to head towards those goalposts and try and get that extra point.
David Boyle. Well, he's running ferociously out to Roberts today, to Moon. Moon comes, he's upended. Michael Blake runs from dummy half, he's got to within 9 metres. Fennick slips, tried to get through the gap there. Coleman will put another grubber in here. Well, Ellison's kick has not gone forward, it's gone sideways, it's been knocked backwards. That will be a handover to Western Suburbs.
There's certainly no need to hurry the play here for West. They just can't afford to try and use any real force to crash out of their quarter in case that they lose the ball with those scores. Ball still tied up. They can't abandon that kicking game. They've got to get themselves well and truly out of their quarter. See if South Sydney can bring it back.
There's a long kick being put downfield by Naden. Good footwork. Onto Andrews. Andrews loses the ball. Clicked up by Naden. Given away to Schubert. Schubert's off upfield. Running well. Gets it to Williamson. Williamson comes midfield. He's evaded 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a great debut by this young fella. Believe me, they've got a potential star in their hands with this boy. And it's a penalty to South Sydney.
Another great run by the man making his debut, Jason Williams. The ball was kicked there before it touched the mud on this occasion, so it'll be another safe play by West without a doubt. The ball's so heavy they'll just tap it and take it straight up the middle. But a great debut by Jason Williams. The conditions certainly haven't affected his play. You'll see as he comes back in field, even though regardless of the amount of mud here in the middle of the Sydney Cricket Ground, he's able to step, prop, change direction, plenty of pace and plenty of confidence from the young man who continually beats tackles here tonight. And won't he be happy if West do escape with just the 1 point tonight? He can certainly wake up in the morning know full well that his debut has been a great one in the Sydney Winfield Cup.
Well, let's hope he never loses the enthusiasm he's shown tonight, because he's had a marvellous debut game. I really am applauding. Schubert, belying his years, runs very well, strongly. Mario Fennick's got him. Schubert gets to his feet. Fella runs from dummy half. We've got less than 5 minutes to go now. Wayne Lampkin. The South Sydney defence is just creeping up a little bit here. They could be penalised. That will raise the ire of the South Sydney fans if they do. Last tackle coming now. The ball should be put into the in-goal area and the chasers sent through. Well, he's got out. There was only one chaser there. South Sydney must try to kick and get down the end of the field. They've lost the ball. Western Suburbs come up with it.
Well, South Sydney never took the option to the field goal. West with the perfect opportunity. They're only 12 metres out from the south line, close to the goalpost. An opportunity just to head straight for them. They continue to spread it wide. It's as if nobody wants to try and gain the extra point to come up with a win tonight.
Well, they've got a drier area up there than down the other end of the field. There's nothing surer than that. The ball would probably bounce. Schubert. Out to Allenson. He skates through a tackle and finishes up 5 metres from the line. Last tackle. Well, there's a kick that's Wouldn't have even got a point in an Aussie rules game. It went to the left of the goal.
Well, there was good harassment out of the dummy half position. They were set for it, Western Suburbs. They had to rush it. South Sydney started to come down to apply the pressure. He couldn't get the kick in time, and that ball, that heavy ball, has caused so many problems all night for both sides.
Well, Naden tackled Michael Blake very hard then. The ball bounced out of his hands as he backslammed him, and he came up with the ball, but the referee called for the set scrum. Western Suburbs ball again. Allenson stands, props, tries to go back. Sherbert, Naden drops the ball. I think Sherbert said something to him there. Well, the referee showing a little bit of common sense and moving them from the scrum out of the mud patch, which will make the footing a little better. Coleman to David Moon, or Jason Moon. He's tackled just over the halfway line. Coleman, Andrews. Fennick, Coleman. I think that was Thomas. There's Andrews, lost the ball. Ellison lost the ball forward. So there'll be a scrum, and again, there it is, the full-time hooter, and that will be construed as the point that got away. South Sydney lay down the their certainties to win the game in everyone's book, and let Western Suburbs come up with a try to come away with a 4-all draw. Ellison a try for Souths, Allenson a try for Western Suburbs, and an astonishing game of football, highlighted by some excellent handling, even in these atrocious conditions. Both sets of players get my congratulations.
Let's take a look at the matches next weekend for you right now in the Winfield Cup. St George and Illawarra, Balmain, an important clash with the Canberra Raiders. Penrith up against East, Western Cronulla, Parramatta and Souths, and the big one, of course, Manly riding high in the competition table, Canterbury trying to force their way into the top three, and North Sydney enjoying the bye. Well, the football once again has been open, some great tries scored. I hope you've enjoyed all the action. Until we go around next time, I'm Graeme Hughes. Goodbye for now.